So I'm going to start the tour off in my front yard. And as you can see, I am growing a sunflower. This is supposed to, well, it says it's a mammoth, a Russian mammoth sunflower. And as you can see, that's as tall as it has gotten. I expected it to be bigger than that, but maybe where it's at, I don't know how the soil is underneath. And maybe that's why it didn't grow too tall. Let's see, I'm going to stand next to it and give reference. So it's about to the height of my chin, and I'm 6 feet. So I'm going to say it's a little bit less. Well, it is a little bit less than 6 feet. I'm also growing marigold down here. And then there's another sunflower growing back here. And then I also have morning glory that is trellising up this sunflower. So maybe because the sunflowers are so close together, maybe that's the reason why it didn't grow too tall. But as you can see, it has multiple heads on it. Let's see, there's one there, another one there, and then there's some in the back. So at least I'll have more heads that are coming off of it. I do want to harvest seeds, and I don't know how big these are. I really wanted this to get taller than that. And then while I was trimming my yard, front yard, I found some ground cherries here. Well, that's what the plant ID said they were. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, so I just want to see when they turn green. I mean, not green, but that yellowish color. I don't know if I'm going to try them because I did not grow them from seed. And I don't want to be testing something and then, yeah. But that's the front yard. Okay, well, now we're in the backyard. I just wanted to show you some things that I'm growing over here in this section. It's really small. Well, it's not that, you know, long. Well, it's long, but as far as width goes, it's not that wide over here. But I do have cantaloupe here. And there's some that are growing. There's one. I know there's a bigger one. Yeah, here it is. Oops, sorry, I just knocked that flower off. You can see this one. So I do have one here that I need to get off the ground. Yeah. But I have it trellising up this yawn. Yeah, I have it trellising up this yawn. I do have a bean plant here. And I harvested some beans off of here. There's some more growing though. Here's one. This is a bush variety. Sorry, this is a, I'll just knock that off. This is a bush variety bean plant. There's another one down there. I'm not going to take that one, but yeah. And it tastes, well, I like them. My daughter likes them. My sons, not so much. And I also have another cantaloupe plant here. Yeah, I have that one going up and then going across. And then I have, well, I believe there's multiple cantaloupe growing on here as well. I'm trying to see if I can find them. I guess the job of the leaves is to conceal the fruit. See this one here that I did not pollinate, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. But here's one. And then my biggest one is down there. You can see that one. And then I have this baby bush watermelon that I have also going up the string. And then you can see there's one here, watermelon. And oh, There's another one down there that I also have to get off the ground. And you can see it's like it's scraping. So I have to get that off the ground as soon as possible. And then my biggest one is right here. I don't know if it's going to get any bigger than that because it's been that size for the longest. So, but I do have to fertilize things today. I have some corn that this one has already been harvested over. I can't even say the word that we harvest corn from already. This one, I don't know. It has this small one down here, and it looks like that's one there as well. It's so small. Maybe because of where it's at, it's so close together. And then there's another cantaloupe plant here. I'm trying to see what that is inside. Can you see that? I've been seeing those all over a lot of my plants, like in the flowers. So I guess that's what's been helping to germinate. Yeah, so that's that area. So in here, I have a tomato plant. There was some onion in here, but as you can see, it died. But my tomato plant survived. And I put it in this bag because it's like where I have my other tomato plants planted. They're not that tall, and they are an indeterminate variety. And I guess because of where I have them, they're really small. So I'm trying to see if I can get something, well, if these can grow better in this bag and see how tall they really get. And I can actually harvest off of them. So yeah, testing this one out and see what I can get out of it. Right here I have a Shoshito pepper plant. I brought this from Walmart. And there was some peppers on there that I took off because I noticed like when I transplanted it, it looked like it was ready to die. Not harvested. I fertilized it like 2 days ago, and as you can see, it looks like it perked up a little bit. So yeah, I have it in this cardboard box because I didn't have a pot for it. Well, not a bigger one, and I didn't want it just sitting in this pot that it came in. Yeah, so I'll put it in here. Right here is my potato plant. I'm sorry. And look like these leaves are starting to die. I did have another potato plant in here that I did harvest off of, and yeah, these are starting to die back. I'm just waiting to see. Like when I did harvest off the other one, the potatoes were really small, and I ended up throwing them back inside of here. They haven't sprouted or anything, but they were really small. Maybe because this pot, well, it's a bucket, but it is kind of small. So I don't know. I probably will have to, you know, put them in something bigger when I try to grow potatoes again, because I want it more and not those little tiny ones. I also have this watermelon plant that I should be transplanted, but I have never. So I have 4 no-dig garden beds. This is one. I have one over there. This is one, and then one is there. And I started out with this. All of these are transplants. I started them all from seed in my house, and when the temperatures was right outside, I brought them all out. Look, you can see that squash that wasn't pollinated back there. Yeah, anyway. So I'm gonna start with this. This is a cantaloupe plant that I have. It was really stunted when I planted it in here, but as you can see, it's starting to grow. I have collards here, and the reason why I have this tool over this collard, those right here are broccoli. There's 1, 2, or 3 back there, is because they were getting eaten up. It was like that white butterfly. Some people say butterfly, some people say moth. And it was leaving its babies, eggs, laying eggs on my plants. And it was getting eaten up, as you can see. So I used to pick them off. And see, this part is exposed. I already tried to fix it, but I'm really trying to keep them out of here. Usually I would try to get the eggs off as much as possible. And if I saw the caterpillar, I would pick it off and dispose of it. Dispose of them. But my efforts wasn't enough. And eventually I decided, let me just try this netting. So we're going to see what happens with that. I have tomatillos over here. And as you can see, when I planted them at first, they were really small. And I had lost one. But they've gotten so big. They have flowers on them. And I know that there's a way that you can hand pollinate, which I've attempted with just my fingers. They say use a Q-tip, paintbrush. Yeah, I'll just use my fingers because that's what I have at this time. I have bean plant there that died. Well, not died. I had 2 others in the same area that which have died. I have carrots here. Those are onions. I have onions. I have some turnips. Not turnips. Yeah, turnips or forgot what was the other one. Beets. Planted here. I have some arugula, cabbage, lettuce, more cantaloupe plants. There's 2 watermelon plants there. And there's also cucumber in here. That might be one right there. And I believe there's another under all the tomatillos. I have squash plant in this cup that I need to transplant. I forgot what this was. This was a watermelon plant. Sorry for the cup that has been knocked over by the wind, which also needs to be transplanted, but I don't know if I will because I have enough watermelon plants. Still haven't figured out what this is because there's 2 plants in there. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom. In this cup, I don't know if I planted broccoli, lettuce. Well, I don't think that's lettuce, but broccoli or collards or could be cauliflower, but I don't remember. I did have a label in there and it just was the paper from the packaging and now it's gone. Same with this one. I don't remember what that was. Here, I believe that's dill. Right here is a pear tree that I started from seed. And it was just a store-bought pear that I used the seed from. The same with this. This is a lemon that I started from seed. I try to grow pecans because I really like pecans. And I want a tree. I'm going to keep trying that. It did have leaves on it. I don't know if you can see the stems. Whatever they call that comes out of the nut. Probably stems. Yeah, they had leaves. They turned brown and fell off. So, these are marigolds, which I transplanted from out of the container that I had that watermelon in. I see there's a little small flower about to open up here. I have more dill. This, I don't remember what it was. And this is, I believe it's supposed to be amaranth. And it is in a small area. I don't know if it's going to do anything because from the picture it looked like it will be really tall and you actually have to trellis it, it looks like. I just took it out of the cup that it was in and placed it here. I mean, I don't know if it's going to do anything in this spot, but right now that's where it is. I planted some more seeds in this box. Don't know if they're going to sprout within, since it's so late in the season, kind of. I mean, summer just started, but, I would rather have had it, sorry, my camera. Rather have had it already, a full plant at this point. Okay, I'm going to turn you guys around. Sorry. It's kind of small over here. I need to, rearrange things. where it's easier for me to get around. This is my tomato plants that I started. Oh, I just noticed this one. Yeah. Sorry, I'm waiting for this aircraft. What is it? Can't see. I think it's the helicopter that passed by. Yes, a helicopter. Well, these are Roma tomatoes that I started, excuse me, from seed, and it was just some store-bought Roma tomatoes that I started. Um, they were, I had like maybe 20 something plants, and I am down to just 4, 5. Yeah, because there's one here. This is the biggest one here, as you can see. I have 2 there, and then there's one in the back. Probably can't see that one, but yeah, they were really small when I planted them here. And like I said, I had like 20 something plants, and a lot of them did not make it. I have marigold here. Now, I'm so impressed by this marigold. I didn't even know that marigold can, like, they're easy to transplant, because I did transplant those as well. And they were, no, I think they were in something else, but yeah, they were so easy to transplant, and I really just like them. Like, I really do. You see, there's a whole bunch of flowers. One that's already, dying back, which I have been saving the seeds from, because next year, well, next season, well, not next season, because next season will be fall. Anyway, uh, next spring, I'll be prepared. I'll have a lot of seeds because I'm planning on saving all the seeds as I possibly can from any of my plants that I can get seeds from. That way I don't have to purchase that many next year. And then I can buy different things, because I do want to plant more things, different things next year. Um, Sorry for rambling. I have, I believe that's cauliflower. I really don't remember what that was. Could be collards, could be broccoli. God only knows what it is. But I have the plant ID on my phone, so if I really wanted to know, I can just, use that, even though sometimes that can be wrong. I have asparagus there. You can see it. Sorry, I'm sitting on my little seat over here. I have cucumber. There was a flower here, it's still on there. Some flowers on there, even though it's small. I have beans here. This one look like it's checking out. Well, I do need to water, so let's see if after watering it'll perk back up. I have melons here. Now these are Charleston Gray, and I am so surprised by them, because it's like every seed that I try to germinate died, and these have actually survived. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they're going to produce fruit, and if I get to taste this watermelon, because I love watermelon. I have more collards back there, which that worm, well, not a worm, but that butterfly has been laying eggs on as well. So I have to get out here and cover them, because I have 2 there. There's one over there. I believe that little small one is one as well. Okay, let me take you to my squash plants. Well, let me see if I can step over here without stepping on a plant. Yeah, so I have squash here. And these are zucchini. I think it's zucchini, yeah. They call it summer squash, but it is yeah, I have one there. And this one, I hand pollinated myself. Like I said, I have one that I had to toss over there in that bed, because I didn't catch it in time. But I do have one. And I know a lot of people be talking about these squash bugs, squash borers, I believe that's what it is. So I've been checking my leaves, because this is my first time growing squash. So I've been checking them to make sure I don't see any eggs or the moth or whatever in my garden. But yeah, I have male flowers here. There's some little, squash growing down there that needs, well, the flower hasn't opened up yet. So I want to try to catch those to hand pollinate. I have more melon here. That is a baby bush. More marigold. I'm going to take you guys without trying to step on things. Yeah, I have, these are the beefsteak tomatoes. Yeah, they're alive, but they're not doing anything. They're not growing. And I've been fertilizing, so yeah, because even this marigold, that's really small. And I've been fertilizing, like I said. I do have beans over here, and these are bush beans. So the leaves, you can see they're turning yellow. Some of them are dying off. I don't know. This is two other sunflowers that I have out here. I do have, since I'm over here, I'll just go over what I have here. This is squash. This is different. I believe it's winter squash. So I have one there and two over here. Yeah, I need to get these weeds. This is a bean, and then that's another bean. And these are from beans that I just had in my house. This is another area. Now here, well, those are weeds, but I planted three different things, and I realized after putting seeds in the ground, well, I just like dumped some soil on top of the ground because I didn't have cardboard at the time, and that's why I have so many weeds over here. But I planted three different things here, and I didn't realize that they're not companion plants. So I don't know, but this is pumpkin, that's pumpkin, and that's, I believe it's called Big Max. I also planted watermelon and cantaloupe. The watermelon I do not see, but this cantaloupe came up, and there's only one. So I don't know if the birds got to the plants, well, to the seeds, or they just didn't germinate at all. Uh, Compost. Yeah, I started composting here, and then eventually I just got tired of flipping. So it looks a little trashy, but there are things growing in here. And I threw watermelon seeds over here. That's what that looks like. It is what those are. I did plant sunflowers in here. That look like it's one. Wow. And yeah, I think that's another melon. Okay, I'm gonna take you over to the weeded areas because I have potatoes there, and I've been cleaning these weeds. But I really have to stay on top of that because it's been so hot though. And when it's hot outside, I don't like to be out here because it's really hot. Here I had started some carrot seeds. Well, I planted some carrot seeds, but the weeds have taken over. So I'm thinking if nothing comes out of these two beds, I'm just going to start something else and see what I can get out of that. Same with this, like I have to clean this area because there was some asparagus seeds that I planted in here, but they never germinated. And I know asparagus, because even the ones that I have over there, it took them a long time before they germinated. But even with this, I'm like, I feel like they should have came up by now. So I might just clean all of this up and change it to something else. Plant something else rather. I have more pumpkin over here. Uh, Over here, I have watermelon. There's cucumbers. And then I know there's, well, no, these are not cucumbers. Those are cucumbers, sorry. But these are cantaloupe. And I believe they're, from what I was looking at, they will grow together, which I'm hoping, because they're already here. They're already establishing themselves. And hey guys, so I am back. Sorry, my camera ran out of storage, and I had to like upload some of these videos to my laptop just so I can come back out here and finish this garden tour. When I left off, I was talking about what was in this bed. Like I said, there's cucumbers, there's cantaloupe, and then there's watermelon over there. Over here, I have corn growing. There's corn, and then there's, not right there, well, yeah, here's some peas that are coming up. And I planted them together because I saw in someone else's video where they had their, their pole beans, and I know these aren't beans, these are peas. Their pole beans and their corn growing together. That way, once the corn starts to grow up, the 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 beans can trellis on the corn. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. I don't know how tall this corn is going to get because it's really compacted under this, like in this area of the backyard. So I don't know how tall it's going to get. I'm hoping it gets to about my height or maybe taller, and then I can use the stalks to have my peas trellis on. So that's what I'm doing with that. Over here I have okra. There's a few that sprouted here. I don't remember how many I planted, but there's some that came up, minus the weeds that's in it. Well, that weed. I've been cleaning my beds as best as I possibly can. Now with okra, I'm not really a fan of okra, but I'm trying to acclimate my taste buds to try to like it. I know there's an African soup that I've seen that I wanted to try, see if I can make because I do love African food. So I wanted to try that, and then I've learned that okra water is good. So, you know, I want to try that, and that's the reason why I'm growing okra. Over here is, well, I planted some, what is it, yellow crookneck squash, and I know I put more seeds in here. There's one there, and then there's one there. Those are the only two that sprouted, and I also have planted some. It's a honeycomb tomato, and none of them germinated. And it could be that the seeds washed away because right after I planted them, I believe I planted the seeds like on the 5th of June, and like maybe 2 or 3 days later, we ended up having a storm with tornado warning. So it was really heavy rain. We ended up, excuse me, with flooding, and then it was hailing. So yeah, this whole bed, I had it situated where it was looking like that one. And as you can see, well, mine is me moving soil around, but a lot of my soil transition down there because there's a little dip there, and that could be a reason why I lost the seeds. And I was hoping to like maybe see something sprout, maybe in a different area, but nothing has come up with these two seeds. So I thought about planting out more, but I think I'm gonna wait until like, you know, maybe next month. Well, not July, but August, to see, if I can have them during like, once it starts to cool down, and I don't have to worry about pests. This here was supposed to be my strawberry patch. I brought some bare root strawberries from Walmart, and they never did anything. I left them in the dirt for a long time. See, as you can see, this one here, well, that's the roots, and they never did anything. So I cleaned the weeds because it was the weeds that were taking over. I cleaned those weeds out, And I planted some more beans. There's two different types of beans in here. I believe one is a pinto bean, and I forgot what was the other one. I wrote them down in my notebook, so I forgot what was the other variety. But I know with beans, I feel like they work so much better than some of the other plants. So I'm just gonna stick with that. I like beans, and it's good to have, like, once it starts to get cold, that's a good meal right there. And yeah, that's why I'm just gonna plant as much beans as I possibly can. Here I have cucumbers. Yeah, I did plant some sunflowers here, as you can see. This one is the biggest. It's like different types. I know it was a mixed pack, and then I have the mammoth ones, the same one that I showed in my front yard. That's what these three big ones are here. The smaller one right there, it was in the mixed pack, so I don't know what sunflowers that. But the wind came through, blew my plants over. These two, as you can see, is on its gangsterling. The same with this one. Yeah, and I tried to stand them back up. I see the roots are exposed on that one, so I need to come in and cover those. But I tried to stand them back up, but they decided they did not want to. I see a bug on here. Yeah, they didn't allow me to stake them back up, so I just left them like that. I have beans growing in here, and these are pole beans. I came and cleaned this area out because I planted more beans here. It's the Tenderet bush bean. So I planted those here. I have like pole beans, and that's why I have all this yarn here, because I intend on trying to use it as a trellis. Yeah. I just noticed this. These are marigolds, and this is the first time I've seen it vine out. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm gonna use this trellis as the trellis it on. I did transplant, and it's probably gonna be hard to see, some two pepper plants, or three, but they don't look like they're doing so well. This one has died. Yeah. Um, I have tomatillos here, and they're getting as big as the other one that's over in that bed. But yeah. So this is my little garden area. With the grace of God, I pray over it. Things will grow. I get to harvest as much as possible, because, like I said, it's not just for my family. What I'm hoping for is that I'm able to share with other people who might want or need. So yeah, that's my hope. And I just plan as I go, trying to see what comes out, what I can get from my garden. But my hope is, you know, that things that get bigger, I want to grow in bags, and I'll wait until, like, next spring to do that. And I want to change my garden area around, where, like I said, I'm able to walk through freely. It's hard for me to get around in this area here because I put everything so close together. But yeah, so I'm working as I go. This is a work in progress for me, but I hope you enjoyed the little tour that I gave. And I pray you all have a good rest of your day. Today is Sunday. Happy Sunday to you guys, and be blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.